California has a unique way of building grand things and then simply walking away from them. From bustling gold towns to massive resort destinations, these places once thrived with life. Bathhouses the size of city blocks were erected, only to be reclaimed by nature. These structures went up incredibly fast, but their decline was slow and quiet. Today, some of these locations remain exactly where they were left decades ago. Their doors stand wide open, inviting curious travelers to step inside the past. In this video, we will explore 10 incredible abandoned locations across the state. These are places where you can still walk through the ruins of history. Get ready to journey through forgotten towns, empty pools, and silent military bases. Let us begin our countdown with a legendary ghost town, frozen in time. Location 10 takes us to Bodie State Historic Park, located in remote Mono County. Gold was first discovered on Bodie Bluff back in the year 1859. A prospector named Waterman S. Bodie was the one who made this historic find. Sadly, Bodie did not live to see what his incredible discovery would eventually become. He perished in a severe winter blizzard that very same year during a supply run. The town, bearing a variation of his name, grew rapidly without its original founder. For most of its early years, Bodie remained just a small, quiet mining camp. Everything changed in 1876, when a massive gold deposit was finally struck. The Bunker Hill mine hid a rich vein of gold and silver deep underground. Within a few short years, the local population exploded to over 8,000 people. Some historical estimates suggest the population may have even reached 10,000 residents. By 1879, the bustling Main Street stretched out for over a mile. The booming town boasted up to 65 saloons to entertain the hard-working miners. It also featured a Wells Fargo bank, 4 volunteer fire companies, and a jail. There was a Chinatown, a school, multiple churches, and a very busy local mortuary. Newspapers across California often wrote about the lawless reputation of this wild town. They coined the phrase, "a bad man from Bodie," to describe violent temperaments. By most historical accounts, this rough and dangerous reputation was well earned. However, the gold reserves started running thin by the early 1880s. People began to leave, and devastating fires gutted parts of the town twice. Major fires occurred in 1892 and again in 1932. The very last mine in Bodie was finally closed down in 1942. This closure was due to a wartime order halting non-essential gold mining operations. The remaining residents slowly drifted away, leaving a completely empty ghost town behind. In 1962, California designated the area as a state historic park. Today, about 110 historic buildings still stand in the park. This is just a small fraction of the thousands of structures that once stood. The state maintains the town in a unique condition, known as arrested decay. Nothing is restored or rebuilt. The buildings are only protected from collapsing. Visitors can peer into windows to see dusty furniture, dishes, and old-school blackboards. Location 9 brings us to the historic Sutro Baths in scenic San Francisco. Opened in 1896, it was once the largest indoor swimming facility. The massive complex was built on a cliff overlooking the vast Pacific Ocean.
This grand project was envisioned by a wealthy, self-made pioneer.
Sutro was an engineer and also served as the mayor of San Francisco. He made his fortune by designing a massive drainage tunnel for Nevada mines. Sutro believed that the working class of San Francisco deserved affordable public recreation. He even built his own railroad to transport visitors directly to the baths. A train ride cost a nickel, and entrance to the baths was 25 cents.
This low price included swim attire, a towel, and access to all pools. The spectacular facility featured 6 saltwater pools and 1 freshwater pool. It also housed a large amphitheater, a museum, and thousands of dressing rooms.
The museum displayed eclectic items, including Egyptian mummies and stuffed animals. The baths could accommodate up to 25,000 visitors at a single time. Although it drew massive crowds, the complex was immediately a major financial drain. The high cost of operating such a massive facility made profits nearly impossible.
This low price included swim attire, a towel, and access to all pools. He left his heirs with a spectacular but highly expensive financial liability. Over the next several decades, the family tried various ways to make it profitable.
They installed ice skating rinks, hosted dances, and added a tropical beach theme.
They even completed an extensive Art Deco renovation to attract new crowds. Despite their best efforts, nothing could fix the underlying high maintenance costs.
In 1952, the property was sold to an amusement park owner.
The owner converted the remaining structures into a museum of curiosities and ice rink.
By 1964, developers bought the land with plans to build high-rise condos.
Demolition was already underway when a massive fire broke out in 1966. The devastating fire was later determined by investigators to be a case of arson. The developers abandoned their plans, collected the insurance money, and left the ruins.
The National Park Service eventually acquired the historic coastal site in 1980. Today, visitors can freely explore the concrete ruins at the edge of the cliffs.
Location 8 takes us to a desert-bound coastal settlement, situated in a remote, arid region. During the 1950s, this shoreline town was a booming desert resort destination. People would drive for hours to reach the shores of the vast inland sea. Famous entertainers frequently visited the area. A renowned performer was also known to spend leisure time at this popular resort. The Salton Sea offered warm waters perfect for fishing, boating, and water skiing.
The coastal settlement featured active yacht clubs, popular restaurants, and a lively beach scene. It was proudly marketed to tourists as the glamorous California Riviera of the desert. Ironically, the massive Salton Sea itself was created entirely by a human accident. In 1905, a poorly constructed irrigation canal from the Colorado River broke. For nearly 2 years, the entire flow of the river poured into the basin.
This massive flood filled a dry desert depression, creating California's largest lake.
Because the lake has no natural outlet, water can only escape through evaporation.
Over time, salt, agricultural runoff, and pesticides accumulated heavily in the water. By the 1970s, the salinity levels had risen far past ocean levels. This toxic mix caused massive fish die-offs, littering the shores with millions of carcasses. The birds that fed on the fish also died in devastating numbers.
A terrible smell began to drift from the lake, reaching nearby desert highways.
Tourists stopped coming, the resorts emptied, and the town was slowly abandoned. In 1976, a severe tropical storm pushed water levels even higher.
The rising waters completely submerged the southern end of Bombay Beach.
The town never recovered from this combination of flooding and ecological disaster.
Today, Bombay Beach has a small, permanent population of around 200 people. A large dirt berm now separates the remaining homes from the toxic water. The flooded southern section is open to anyone willing to explore the ruins.
Visitors can see half-buried trailers, rusting piers, and abandoned cars in the mud. What looks like white sand on the beach is actually crushed fish bones. Since 2016, the town has hosted the annual Bombay Beach Biennale Art Festival.
This event brings artists and musicians to install surreal sculptures among the ruins.
The town is now famous for its bizarre, post-apocalyptic landscape and unique art. Location 7 brings us to the old Los Angeles Zoo in Griffith Park. Long before the current zoo opened, this older facility operated in the park. The original zoo first opened its doors to the public in 1912. When the new, modern zoo opened nearby in 1966, this site closed. All the animals were moved, but the old structures were simply left behind. The stone enclosures, metallic compartments, and concrete grottos were never demolished. Instead, they were slowly absorbed into the surrounding public park grounds. Over the decades, thick vegetation and trees began to reclaim the abandoned cages. Today, the site is completely open to hikers and curious park visitors. You can walk directly inside the old, dark stone cages where animals once lived. Many of the concrete enclosures still feature their original, rusting iron bars. The stone grottos that once housed bears and lions are now covered in graffiti. Mossy concrete has cracked, and trees have pushed their way through the floors. The area has the distinct feel of an ancient ruin discovered in the woods. There are no signs explaining the history or which animals lived in each cage. There is no entrance fee, no tour guides, and no formal park supervision. A short hike from the main parking area takes about 20 minutes. At the top, you find a hillside scattered with empty, silent animal enclosures. It is a stark contrast to the modern, well-maintained Los Angeles Zoo nearby. One has gift shops and crowds, while the other has graffiti and silence. The old zoo's history began with animals donated by private local citizens. It served the city for over 50 years before being replaced and abandoned. Now, families use the old stone enclosures as unique picnic areas. Children play inside the very cages that once held wild, exotic beasts. It remains one of the most unusual and accessible ruins in Los Angeles. Location 6 takes us to Calico Ghost Town in San Bernardino County.
Calico was a booming silver mining town located in the Mojave Desert.
The town active years ran from 1881 until 1907. At its peak in the mid-1880s, it housed over 1,000 people.
The local mines produced millions of dollars in valuable silver and borax.
The town featured hotels, a school, a post office, and busy saloons.
However, silver prices collapsed in 1893, signaling the town's demise.
Mining operations quickly declined, and Calico was soon completely abandoned by residents. In the 1950s,
a prominent entrepreneur known for a popular themed attraction, purchased the town. Not architecturally restored many of the decaying wooden buildings to their original state. He later donated the entire town to San Bernardino County in 1966.
Today, Calico operates as a popular county regional park, open year-round. Some structures are careful reconstructions, while others are original historic buildings. Visitors can take mine tours, ride a narrow-gauge train, and explore the streets.
An old cemetery still sits on the dusty hillside, overlooking the town.
Calico is the most commercialized and tourist-friendly abandoned location on our list.
It features active shops, restaurants, and even a campground for visitors.
Despite the tourism, it preserves a genuine piece of California's rich mining history. The surrounding desert canyon looks exactly as it did during the Silver Rush. It offers a fascinating glimpse into the rugged lives of old desert pioneers.
Location 5 brings us to the abandoned Lake Dolores water park in the desert.
This unique desert water park first opened to the public in 1962.
It was built by a local individual in a remote county in the region. Buyers chose a remote spot in the Mojave Desert to build his oasis. For several decades, the park was a popular stop for desert travelers. Families driving between Los Angeles and Las Vegas would stop to cool off. The park featured massive slides, swimming pools, and a lazy river. Over the years, the park went through multiple closures and ownership changes. In the late 1990s, it was rebranded as Rockahula Water Park. Despite a major retro renovation, the park struggled to remain financially viable. It closed again, reopened briefly in the early 2000s, and closed forever. By the mid-2000s, the desert oasis was completely and permanently abandoned. Today, the sun-bleached slides and empty pools sit silently in the desert heat. The concrete structures are heavily covered in colorful graffiti from local artists. The metal frameworks are rusting, and the lazy river is filled with sand.
The ruins are easily visible from Interstate 15 between Barstow and Baker.
Although it is technically private property, many urban explorers visit the site.
It has become a famous landmark for anyone driving through this desert stretch. It is a surreal sight, a water park that has not seen water in decades. The harsh Mojave Desert is slowly reclaiming this once vibrant playground of concrete. Location 4 takes us to Seacliff State Beach to see the SS Palo Alto. The SS Palo Alto was a unique concrete steamship built during World War I. In 1930, the ship was towed to Seacliff State Beach in Santa Cruz. It was intentionally grounded to serve as a spectacular amusement pier. The ship featured a dance hall, a swimming pool, and a popular cafe. However, a severe winter storm cracked the concrete hull in 1931.
The amusement company went bankrupt, and the ship was stripped of its fixtures.
The cracked ship was left in place and became a popular fishing pier. Over the decades, the relentless ocean waves continued to batter the concrete hull. By the 1980s, major sections of the ship had broken completely away. Today, only the fractured forward section of the hull remains at the pier's end. The upper decks have collapsed, leaving a rusting skeleton of steel and concrete.
It is now closed to the public, but serves as a sanctuary for marine life.
Seabirds, seals, and fish have fully reclaimed the crumbling concrete wreck. It stands as a haunting monument to a failed 1930s seaside attraction. Location 3 brings us to the Sunken City in San Pedro, Los Angeles.
In 1929, a massive landslide began on the coastal bluffs of San Pedro. A large section of exclusive oceanfront property began sliding slowly into the sea.
The slow-moving slide gave residents enough time to safely evacuate their homes.
However, several blocks of streets, sidewalks, and homes were completely ruined.
The land shifted and buckled, leaving a chaotic jumble of broken concrete.
The city fenced off the dangerous area, but it became a legendary destination. For decades, artists and teenagers slipped past the fences to explore the ruins. The broken streets and foundations were covered in layers of vibrant graffiti.
In 2015, the city established a permit system for guided public tours.
Today, visitors can legally view the dramatic ruins overlooking the Pacific Ocean. You can see tilted sidewalks, broken water pipes, and remnants of home foundations. The dramatic cliffside location makes the ruins feel incredibly cinematic and historic.
It is a powerful reminder of the unstoppable force of coastal erosion.
The ocean below continues to slowly wear away at the fallen city streets.
Location 2 takes us to the historic Nike missile site, SF-88, in Marin County.
During the Cold War, this secret base was part of a defensive ring. It was designed to shoot down incoming Soviet bombers with anti-aircraft missiles.
Dozens of similar missile sites were built near major U.S. cities back then. Most were demolished or abandoned when the missile technology became obsolete.
However, SF-88 in the Marin Headlands was preserved and fully restored. It is now the only fully operational Nike missile site turned into a museum. The National Park Service manages the site as a fascinating historical exhibit. Visitors can explore the underground missile storage magazines and launch pads. You can see the massive elevators used to bring missiles to the surface. The administrative area features original radar dishes and complex control consoles. On special days, military veterans volunteer to demonstrate how the system worked. They raise the non-active missiles and explain the tense Cold War operations. The site offers a unique, hands-on look at a scary period in history. It stands in stark contrast to the beautiful, peaceful Marin Headlands surrounding it. Finally, Location 1 brings us to Anza Borrego Desert State Park. This is California's largest state park, spanning over 600,000 acres. It features vast desert landscapes, deep slot canyons, and rugged badlands.
Hidden within this park are the ruins of early homesteads and ranches.
Settlers in the early 20th century tried to farm this harsh, dry land. The extreme heat and lack of water eventually forced them to abandon their homes. Today, visitors can hike to find crumbling adobe walls and rusting farm equipment. Fonts Point offers a breathtaking view over the vast, eroded Borrego Badlands. The ruins are completely unprotected, slowly turning back into desert sand over time. It is a beautiful and quiet place to reflect on human struggle against nature. California has a rich history of building grand dreams and leaving them behind.
These 10 abandoned locations offer a unique window into the state's past. They remind us that nothing built by human hands lasts forever.
If you enjoyed this journey, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. Think you know the truth? Drop your theory below. Hit like and subscribe to Atlas Unknown for the next mystery.